Hello, Satnam, it's me, Shakti, and I'm out in the park near where I live, enjoying this absolutely glorious, beautiful, blessed day. This video is called The Deeper Meaning of SEX, which spells sex. I just want to show you where I am right now and just invite you to take it in with me. So I'm just going to pan the camera around for a moment. So I'm standing underneath a tree. The birds are singing. The sky is almost unbroken blue. I can hear the very light breeze rustling in the trees. I can see the grass, which is turning to a faded yellow around me. And here is the trunk of the tree that I'm standing underneath. And here I am. And I want to say to you, this is pornography. This is sexuality. This is making love. Yeah. When I did my priestess initiation, one of the very first practices that we were asked to do, and I hope, Katinka, you don't mind me sharing this part. Much of what we did, well, it is sacred and secret, but this, I think, is okay to share. One of the first practices that we did, and as part of our homework, was to eye gaze with a tree. I'm not joking. It was a really interesting, beautiful inquiry that I enjoyed then, but actually now I can enjoy on an even deeper level than I did then. And in fact, more recently, when I was in Greece and in a beautiful workshop, I had this amazing experience of going into presence in meditation with a tree and opening my eyes and realizing that that tree and its leaves were emitting the most glorious, radiant energy of love to me and to everything that was there in the space, always, constantly. Nature, the universe, is alive and is full of love, and that love is also sexual energy, Shakti. They are one and the same. And this is something I want to speak to in terms of the deeper nature and the deeper meaning of sex. I thought of this acronym the other day, which is Sacred Energy Exchange. Sacred Energy Exchange. Yeah, I know the last word is beginning with an E, but it's got an X in it, so hey, it works for me. And this Sacred Energy Exchange is happening in us, around us, to create the world and the world that we live in all the time. And it's exchange between consciousness and energy, the masculine and the feminine at their highest expressions before complete. Oh, there's all these flies flying around me as I'm talking. Got distracted for a moment. It's really exciting. So that's what's going on, and that is the deeper meaning and the deeper nature and the deeper potential for sex. SEX, Sacred Energy Exchange. And when we become aware of that, it changes the nature of all that we are and all that we be and all that we do, and how we express our sexuality into the world, and how we express our relating and how we relate. Because we become aware that by allowing an energy into our field, let alone into our body, it's a really big deal. So what level of consciousness are we exchanging energy with? What level of consciousness as women do we want to receive and take into our bodies and amplify? Because whatever we take in, we amplify because we are creators. Man, what level of consciousness and love do you bring to your woman? If you're heterosexual, what level of consciousness or love do you bring in that sacred energy exchange? that is something to be aware of. Of course, you know, Tantra isn't about judgment, it's about unification, and it's about integrating all levels of being rather than polarizing. So it's fine wherever we are on that, but it's just to be aware of the potential that is there that we might not be stepping into. I notice that when I use the words sex or sexuality or sexual energy, and I use those words a lot because they pertain to what I do. Because for me, sex, sexuality, and sexual energy are divine, sacred, and awakening energies that bring more love, truth, and awareness into the world. So those are not words that I consider dirty, shameful, or wrong, which is what is happening out there in the world. But I notice that if I speak of sexual energy, which is, for example, what we are playing with and working with all the time in Kundalini Yoga and dance, for example. So yoga, yes, a yogic practice works with sexual energy. It does not mean that we are having sex. But what I notice is that as the minute I use that word, it's almost like I can see people's consciousness not registering or not understanding what I'm actually referring to. And of course it is hard to grasp something when you don't know it or understand it or you haven't experienced it. But it's kind of like all the energy and all the attention in the person who's listening goes immediately down to the genitals, and they can't get beyond that, if you see what I mean. So again, I just want to say to you that actually sexuality and sex expresses itself through all levels of our being. And in a true meeting with another, we would be making love through the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the solar plexus, the sexual center, and the root. And we don't even need to be physically in union for that to happen. Do you understand the nature that we are not just physical matter, we are energy beings? In conclusion, I want to read to you a quotation from a Tantra master teacher who I really admire and respect. He's one man who I feel really gets it and teaches it and embodies it and lives it, and there aren't many of them. He expresses that so clearly and so well. He says exactly what I would wish to say myself, but even better. So, sexuality beyond the root chakra. If we were to mention the word sex anywhere at all, be it on the street, in a supermarket, or at work, people immediately bring their attention and energy to their genital area or root chakra, as if that is what sex is about. But it really isn't. That is just one very small area of where sexual energy rests or belongs or explores the universe. Sexual energy is to have all the levels of the body. It is very much the same as the universe we all exist in. I'm looking around me at this beautiful universe. The entire universe is sexual energy, moving and moving with integrated consciousness. This is what produces the stars and the planets. It is what creates life and what evolves both life and consciousness. As long as we keep sex as something happening just in our genital area and we don't allow it to have our heart, our sexuality becomes something we use to control life and circumstances with. It becomes something we use for ourselves to become and to maintain a particular type of man and a particular type of woman. When sex is given to the whole body, to every level of the body, all the way through, okay? And we bring our body in alignment with the universe, sexuality becomes a fineness of attunement to the entire body of the cosmos. It is no longer a limited experience of just sex or having sex, but entirely holy and abundant in its nature of loving. It becomes subtle and pure and begins to be the means through which we know and communicate with a flower, a bird, or a star, through which we know and commune with another's heart. In truth, sexuality is the sacred instrument in which pure consciousness and pure form realize their union. It is a divine instrument that communicates evolution and transmits the more of what we are in the deep. Breathing that in, that feels like truth in my body, in my whole being. I was reading from, let me just show you, this is Bernie Pryor's latest book, Love Without Duality, Awaken in Intimacy. That is the nature of sex that I teach, that I aspire to embody and be in all that I am, that I'm deepening in my own communion with more and more every day. And that is what I'm here to be. That is what we're all here, or we all have the potential to awaken to knowing and being, understanding and transmitting. So once again, just showing you this beautiful nature, this love, this sexual energy that is radiant and pouring down love upon us. That's it. And because I'm so short-sighted, I can't see your comments, so I will look at them afterwards. And I thank you so much for being with me again, and I am just loving sharing this with you at the moment. Thank you. Much love and Sat Nam.